There's a troubling case drawing a lot of attention to Orlando, Florida. 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was shot and killed by a neighborhood watch captain as he headed home from a convenience store in suburban Sanford, Florida. The shooter, George Zimmerman, said it was self-defense and was never arrested. He's still free a month later. Joining us from Florida to talk about the many questions surrounding this tragic case that left a child with nothing but a pack of Skittles in his pocket, lying on the ground dead, is his father, Tracy Martin, his mother, Sybrina Fulton, and the family attorney, Ben Crump. Folks, welcome to Washington Watch.
Thank you.
This obviously is stunning. I've been talking about this story on Twitter and Facebook, as well as the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Give me a sense of what took place on this night. Trayvon decided to go to the convenience store to get some candy, to get some things along those lines, and what happened?
He left home to go to the convenience store to get some snacks before the basketball game came on, and he never returned home. And
so he first of all comes back from the convenience store. What we know thus far is that this guy, George Zimmerman, decides to call 911, says he sees a suspicious character. The 911 operators tell him don't follow the particular person. He does so anyway in his SUV. Next thing we know, there's some kind of altercation, and then Trayvon has been shot.
That's pretty much the facts, Roland. And it's one of those things, they tell him not to get out of his car. He just disregards and ignores the police instructions. And why is a neighborhood watch a person carrying a 9mm gun? And the police have done everything in their power to try to espouse his self-defense theory. We have not had witnesses who came to the press and said, we told the police it was the kid crying for help and that it wasn't the adult Zimmerman, and the police say they are mistaken. One of the things they have said over and over to these parents and the community is that the reason they did not arrest George Zimmerman is because they had nobody to contradict his claim of self-defense. We now know that is a lie. These witnesses have come forward, and instead of embracing these witnesses or saying, well, they were courageous to come and tell what they saw, the police have attacked their statements. And that's a pattern. They attack or ignore any evidence that will effectuate an arrest for the murder of Trayvon Martin.
Now, obviously, in this case, Trayvon is African-American and the shooter is white. Tracy and Sybrina, how does it make you feel that a guy who shoots and kills your son, who was unarmed, all he had was Skittles and an iced tea, is still walking around free a month later, and the cops simply say, he said it was self-defense, we find nothing to contradict that? How do you feel as parents that that guy is still walking around the streets?
It upsets us. It makes us feel like we're not getting any justice, and we feel like we are the victims. It was our son that was shot. This guy murdered him. It hurts. It hurts very deeply. I cry every day because I just don't understand. My son is gone, and this guy has not been arrested.
Also, your son, 17 years old, high school junior, wanted to become a pilot one day. So just give our viewers a sense of who Trayvon Martin was.
Trayvon Martin was a family guy. He was a loving guy. He liked to eat a lot. He liked to listen to his music. He was into sports. He loved football. He loved basketball. Just an average kid. He's never been disrespectful to us. He's just an average kid.
He was my hero. He was actually my best friend, and he was my hero. He saved my life, and for me not to be there to be able to save his life is very upsetting. Me knowing my son, I know when Mr. Zimmerman did confront him, I know my son was looking for me to be there to protect him. He knew that I would. He knew that I was his protector.
Tracy, you say he saved your life.
I owe my life to him.
You say he saved your life. How did he save your life?
Back in 2004, we were in a house fire. Me and Trayvon was the only one in the house. At the time, he was 9 years old. We had just came from the Little League football park. We fell asleep while the stove was on. A grease fire started. I went in the kitchen, tried to put the grease fire out, and end up the grease splattered all over my legs. My body went in shock, and by me and him being the only one in the house, I started calling out to his name. Mm-hmm. He finally woke up, and at 9 years old, he pulled me from out of the kitchen where the kitchen cabinets were on fire. He pulled me out of the kitchen and onto the balcony, and he actually went back in the house and got the cell phone and called 911. Wow,
certainly an amazing kid. Ben, I want to go to you now. You have filed a lawsuit against the city of Sanford, Florida, trying to get access to those 911 tapes because the police chief there, Bill Lee, refused to release those tapes.
Yes, sir, Martin. It's one of those situations where the police know those 911 tapes are critical in this instance because it tells us three things. Number one, it tells us that the police told him to stay, and he makes comments on there why he ignored and disregarded the police instruction. Number two, he says that he saw a suspicious person. The dispatcher asked, why is the person suspicious? Those tapes tell us why this loose cannon Neighborhood Watch Association captain says he's suspicious. And number three, Roland, he says in this tape, it tells us his overall demeanor.
Right.
When he gets out of that car with a 9mm gun, weighing 200 pounds, and confronts this kid with soaking wet 140 to 150 pounds, who only has a bag of Skittles. Now, George Zimmerman has a red sweatshirt and jeans on. We believe Trayvon Martin went to his death not knowing who this strange white man was who was confronting him.
Right.
They won't let those 911 tapes out.
Now, Ben, you have an emergency hearing on Monday regarding these 911 tapes, correct?
Yes, sir. At 10 a.m., the judge, based on the rules, have to give us an emergency hearing in 5 days, and it's Monday. And we want everybody in America to keep the pressure on and keep watching, because there's no reason for them not to release those 911 tapes.
I got about 20 seconds left. Tracy and Sybrina, I've got to ask you, how does it feel to have people all across the country, some 200,000 people have signed the petition calling for justice, and also on March 26th, there's going to be a national march and rally in Sanford, Florida on behalf of your son?
It lets me know that America's not going to stand by and let this be swept under the rug. It lets me know that there are people that are willing to make a change and to continue to fight with us.
And it also gives us strength to know that we have support and that we're not going through this alone. It really helps.
Well, Tracy and Sybrina, we certainly have our prayers are with you for the loss of your son. And one of the reasons why we wanted to keep this and put this out there is because we talk about black-on-black violence. We talk about young black men who are not doing the right things. Your son was doing the right things, was a clean-cut kid, no record whatsoever. And absolutely, it doesn't make any sense that someone could shoot and kill him cold-blooded, and that person simply say self-defense, and he walked free. And certainly, we're going to keep attention on this. We thank you very much for participating on Washington Watch. Look forward to chatting with you very soon. Ben, thank you very much as well.
Thank you, Roland.
Thank you.